women cannot orgasm. Anxiety. When we talk about performance anxiety, what is performance anxiety? Performance anxiety is when you have that fear of doing something. But this specifically, when we talk about performance anxiety, is when it comes to the bedroom issues. And this is not only around women, men also has that kind of experience performance anxiety, especially when it comes to premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. Most of the causes is also performance anxiety. And performance anxiety is really also a major cause of when it comes to the women. It also prevents women to reach their orgasm. We call it is the inside fear. You might not even know that you have that fear, but you have a fear. In my language, we say unumba ndakomwenyo nanda kutwa watu tarara komwenyo. So that is also what it means. You yourself don't know, but the issue is like you have that fear. Watirike. And that is why people might think, no, I am abnormal. You are not abnormal. You are not really abnormal, but you have just that fear. Call it performance anxiety. That is also one of the reasons. And the reason why you have that fear, as I say, from our childhood, from our upbringing, the way we are the way we brought up, we are brought up with that connotation of sexual issues are really sinful issues, are things that cannot be discussed. And when you yourself get into the thing, you just have also that fear that, oh, I am busy, I'm a sinner. Because you are made, sex is made to make you to be ashamed. That's why when you get in, you already put it in your subconscious mind. That thing is that fear is in your subconscious mind. That's why I say it's not a physical fear. You yourself might not know that you have that fear, because you have that fear that, oh my goodness, I am going to perform something which is sinful. You already have that shame that you are going to perform something which is shameful and something which is sinful. And that's why you will get that performance anxiety. You will develop that fear. So at the end of the day, that fear is the one that causes you really to do what? To not to reach your orgasm. Then the other cause also, that women are not really stimulated enough. And I want to emphasize that women are not stimulated enough. There's no enough stimulation. Because if you don't have enough stimulation, then you won't be able really to reach. That's why in my previous lessons, I talk about if men knows where to touch their woman, you're supposed to know where to touch your woman. If you know where to touch your woman, then it means you are able to reach, because you stimulate where it's supposed to be stimulated. Whether it's now the clitoris stimulation, whether it's the G spot, or whether it's the A spot, when you know exactly the right spot. But most of the time, if your man doesn't know exactly where to touch you, then it's also a problem. And that's why knowledge is power. You need to know exactly. You have also to educate your men so that men know exactly where to touch. So that's why the other reason is that women are not properly stimulated, because there is a difference between men and women. A woman needs some time. You need enough time so that you can really properly stimulate it. But if your husband, if your man is just coming, rush and rush and rush and rush, then it's a problem, because then he is finished and you are not able to reach. Because for you to reach, you need to be properly stimulated. So if you teach your men how to touch you and where to touch you and how long you are his guide, how long you need to be stimulated, then it means he's able to touch you at the right spot. But most of the time, women are not stimulated at the right spot. You are just, the man is just going into bed, and then maybe he just sort of like, touch here, touch there, touch here, touch there, even at the wrong spot. And I think most of the women are really not properly stimulated. They are not really properly stimulated. I'm not saying that the men don't know. Some men know, but there are quite a lot of men don't know, because I also a lot of, you know, concern from men, questions to say, please, Meme, can you, I'm sorry, can you please teach us where to touch? And that is exactly what it happens. If we teach our men really where to touch us, then we won't have a problem of orgasm, because every woman is supposed to reach orgasm, unless you really have those problems that I'm talking about. You have anxiety, you have the performance anxiety. Performance anxiety is really just specifically the fear when it comes to the bedroom. So the moment you enter the bedroom, you freak. You freak out. Sometimes you think that you don't have any experience. Am I going to perform? Am I going to satisfy my men? And when you have that kind of worry, then believe me, it will be difficult to reach orgasm. So the third reason is maybe you might have a problem really, when it comes, maybe you were sexually abused. That's the third one. The moment a woman has been sexually abused, then when it comes to the bedroom, then the performance anxiety hit in, because the very first experience of sexual encounters has been a painful experience. So for that woman, the woman feel that when it comes to sex is a painful experience. And that thing has been, it's a belief that has been, stored in your subconscious mind. As I said, sometimes you think you have healed from that, but the moment you come into the bed, then you relive that experience. So the whole picture is coming back. And some of the women start even screaming, because when you experience that painful experience, then you have been screaming. Now you relive that. And only until you really go for counseling, then you are able to heal from that trauma. Because trauma, which is most of the time, trauma is a sexual abuse, is one of the reasons why at this moment you cannot reach your orgasm. Sometimes, many times, we believe that times will heal, but unfortunately, times will not heal. Time will not heal you. There's no way you can heal from that. Because at the end of the day, if you haven't gone for therapy to root out that bad experience, to root out that painful experience, it will still stay there until one day you experience any trigger, anything that triggering it, because it was a sexual experience, any sexual encounter, then it triggers that experience, and you won't be able to really to reach your orgasm. So the best thing that you need to do is really to go for sexual therapy. Go for therapy so that that experience can be rooted out. Because if it cannot, it keeps on coming back and coming back and coming back. And it's really, really, really a problem. So those are now the three that I'm talking about. There are also others, like maybe you are using certain medication. Like even there are certain medication, like maybe contraceptive, injectable contraceptive can also prevent you to have libido and you are not able to reach your orgasm. So it's also one of them. So there's quite a number of those. And sometimes maybe there is that kind of physical causes. But when it comes to physical causes, it can be really only found out when you go for gynecological examination, so that they check your pelvic floor. Sometimes your pelvic muscle, we call it BC muscle, it's probably maybe weak, and you are not able to really reach your orgasm. So that is also one of them. And I think that the issue here is to say, when you cannot reach, the main thing is to find out why. Why is the most important part. Sometimes you just blame yourself, maybe, or you diagnose yourself. Maybe is that, maybe I'm abnormal, like now, the woman who asked me, am I abnormal? And I said, you are not abnormal. Sometimes you just say, oh, maybe I'm just like that. Maybe I'm abnormal. But sometimes you are really not abnormal. There is nothing abnormal when it comes to your physical body. Or maybe it's just something, it's just psychological. And if it's psychological, that can be corrected. If maybe you are using certain medication that causes you not to reach orgasm, maybe your medication can be changed. But the reason I think here, my message here is to say, what we need to do is to say, talk about it, go to the doctor. Because many times we are so ashamed to go and talk about bedroom issues. Yes, I do understand. I do understand that it's not so easy, but I think we need to learn to speak up. We need to learn to speak up. Because if we cannot speak up, it is really a problem. You will have a problem thinking that you are abnormal, but to be honest, you are not. You might think you are the only one who has a problem, but when you speak out, when you go to the therapist, then they will tell you how many percentage, as I also indicated yesterday, how many percentage people also experience the same, and what do they do. But the only thing that you need to do is really to go for therapy. You can start with your doctor, you can start with your GP. So whenever, and you just express your emotion to say, no, doctor, I have this problem. The doctor will guide you where to go. The doctor will guide you where to go. Because if it is psychological, the doctor will refer you to therapy. If it's physical, the doctor will refer you to the gynecologist. So it's really a matter of really trying to say, where can you go? And let us speak. Let us not have problems in our bedroom and we think someone is responsible for that. Because we do have so many false beliefs about anything bedroom related. Someone is responsible for that. There is no one who is responsible for that. There are conditions that are there that can also affect our sexual issue, our reaching of orgasm. So you supposed to reach orgasm. So don't sit with a problem. Just go to your GP, tell your GP, because your GP will be able to refer you to where? To the right, to the right solution, to the right doctor, to the right counselor, to the right therapist, to the right sex therapist. So I think these are now the causes. So if you like this type of video and you want me to do more, please go like my channel, subscribe, like, and share to other people, because then you are able to be notified anytime when I come up with this type of videos. I think for now, we are still going to continue with women issues, with women empowerment. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post your question, and I will be able to answer it on a video. On this note, please hit the button subscribe, and then we see you tomorrow. Thank you.